Most of us had never traveled far from home, let alone flown in an airplane. They came from every corner of the country with a common purpose.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most memorable moments from the World War II miniseries Masters of the Air.
It's gonna get bumpy. Hang on, guys.
Number 10. Bombing U-boat pens in Norway. One of the earliest missions depicted in the series sees the 100th bomb U-boat pens, or submarine bases, in German-occupied Norway.
And the target for today is submarine pens in Trondheim, Norway.
Lieutenant Harry Crosby, despite fighting off air sickness throughout, manages to navigate the group there successfully.
How we doing, Crosby?
Yeah, good, sir. Just doing some calculations, Major. There you are.
Although the bombers take heavy anti-aircraft fire or flak from the ground, the attack is successful. However, one, piloted by Lieutenant Curtis Biddick, has taken heavy damage, forcing the group to hold off fighters to protect his plane. Cross comes through with his navigation again, however, and is able to plot a course that lets Biddick land in Scotland. It's a rough landing, but a great early success for the 100th that highlights Cross's skill especially.
I wasn't that bad, right?
Number 9. The Tuskegee Airmen Attack Toulon. While the 100th Bomb Group is the major focus of the show, they're not the only Masters of the Air the title refers to.
The edge of the front's moving pretty fast across the mountain range. It's time. We'll do it. It's all mathematics.
The Tuskegee Airmen were a group of black military aviators. Members from the 99th Fighter Squadron take part in the invasion of southern France, attacking German positions at Toulon. Unlike most battles in the series, this one takes us inside fighter planes rather than bombers.
I'm hit!
While it's not a very long sequence, speed and intensity make it stand out. While all the men are shot down and/or captured, they put up quite the fight in this scene.
Told you I saw another shoot.
Number 8. Battle over Bremen. The first big mission in Masters of the Air sees the 100th perform a daytime raid on German military targets in Bremen. On their way in, they take heavy flak from German AA guns below. And then, unfortunately, they're unable to see their targets through the cloud cover and they have to abandon the mission.
It's no good. Sir, I am not dropping bombs if we can't see the damn target.
Even worse, on their return, German fighters pursue and shoot down 3 B-17s or forts, killing 30 men. While there are bigger and bloodier battles to come, this early mission still imparts the gravity and stakes the 100th must face on a regular basis. Number 7. Bucky's Interrogation.
Can I pour you a whiskey?
Thanks.
Here, several of the characters who parachute down are interrogated by the Germans. Although the interrogations of the Tuskegee Airmen are also dramatic, they're not as lengthy as this one. Major John Bucky Egan is captured, and more on that later, after being shot down behind enemy lines. At a prisoner of war transit camp, he's then interrogated by Lieutenant Hausman.
I also know you were born in Manitowoc, Wisconsin. Married? From what I hear, definitely not.
Hausman initially puts Bucky at ease with his youthful appearance and offer of whiskey. However, his interrogator quickly proves to be no pushover, revealing to Bucky just how much they already know about him. Hausman alternates between subtle threats and attempts at camaraderie, which keeps Bucky and the audience on edge and off balance throughout. It is a tense and fantastic dialogue scene.
One thing I can tell you, Major. The Gestapo's never mistaken.
Number 6. Exposing a spy. After parachuting down over Belgium, Sergeants Quinn and Bailey reunite with another, Bob from the 306th. They're then questioned by the Belgian resistance members. Along with standard inquiries about who they are, they're also grilled on American trivia, like baseball facts and the national anthem.
Who did Babe Ruth play for before the Dodgers?
Babe Ruth never played for the Dodgers.
Later, as they begin to leave the country, the resistance fighters ask Bob for a light, and when he offers them one, he is promptly shot.
Bob, you have a light?
Yeah. Hey, you got one for me?
No!
Bob was likely a German infiltrator. While it's never explained directly, looking back on the scene, there are subtle clues to pick out, like his writing the date the European way and having a German lighter. It's great to re-watch to pick up on what you may have missed.
What is your national anthem?
Star Spangled Banner.
Can you sing it?
Number 5, Rosie finds a concentration camp.
Do you mind if I stretch my legs?
Он хочет размять ноги.
Давай.
Robert Rosie Rosenthal is one of the most prolific flyers in the 100th, but even he is eventually shot down. Thankfully, he's able to make it to the Russians, who take him in. But on the way to Moscow, Rosie takes a break to stretch his legs during a delay. He wanders into a nearby industrial area, only to find charred bodies piled everywhere. It becomes clear to the viewer that he stumbled upon a concentration camp. While Rosie's Russian translator's description of the place is tragic enough, the imagery already speaks volumes. The heartbreaking story he hears from an elderly man soon afterwards makes this a 1-2 gut punch of a sequence.
The Germans, they ordered him to fill in the ditch. Somewhere in there, his wife, his daughter, his grandchildren.
Number 4, Bucky in Rüsselsheim.
When we get a chance, you think you can run on that ankle?
I don't think so.
Ruhe da hinten!
After parachuting into Germany, Bucky is quickly captured by local farmers and turned over to the German army. While being transported to a POW camp, he and his fellow prisoners are led through Rüsselsheim, which has recently been bombed by the British. Seeing Bucky experience the aftermath of their attacks on German cities is horrifying enough. However, the hostility from the German citizens soon explodes into violence. The townspeople attack him and his fellow airmen.
It's okay. Back off!
And rather than protect them, some of their guards even join in executing their prisoners. Bucky only escapes because he's mistaken for dead. While Bucky's presence here is an invention of the show, the Rüsselsheim massacre was a real event, and it's appalling to witness, even in fiction. Number 3, the liberation of Stalag 7A.
He's coming back! He's coming back!
Bucky and his fellow POWs have been moved to Stalag 7A, the largest German prisoner of war camp. Then one day, a P-51 Mustang fighter flies down and opens fire on the German gun positions. It's soon followed by American troops and tanks. The POW's joy turns to panic, though, as the Germans open fire on them.
Take out the tower!
The prisoners fight back against their distracted guards, aiding their liberators. Meanwhile, Bucky seeks out an American flag and raises it himself to celebrate once the Germans have been defeated and they've reclaimed their freedom. Most battles in Masters of the Air are naturally set in the sky. However, this one takes place at ground level, and its chaos and eventual triumph help make it unique. Number 2, Münster Raid.
Your primary target is Münster. Your aiming point and mean point of impact is the railroad marshalling yards.
Arguably the turning point for the series, this battle sees the 100th target the train yards in Münster, which will disrupt German supply lines. With only 17 bombers, the odds are stacked against them going in. They succeed in hitting their target, but the battle itself is one of the bloodiest shown in the series. Most of the forts are shot down. Bucky and his crew have to bail out. Planes explode and crash into each other. Eventually, only Rosie's bomber remains, and he and his boys have to fight off German fighters on their way home. It is a terrifying, sobering spectacle of a battle that very nearly took our top spot.
All right! I see you, John!
Before we unveil our top pick, here are some honorable mentions. Rough landing in Greenland. Even outside of combat, flying has its dangers.
Flaps up.
Kraz stays up 72 hours, and Sandra in Paris. Two former lovers both give it their all to prepare for D-Day.
64 hours. You just try to survive. Breath by breath.
POWs planning. The captured airmen train to escape, fight, or march.
Straight into the neck, okay? And then you're gonna push it forward and rip his throat out. You got it?
Buck and Bucky's reunion. Best friends together again.
Took you so long.
Last flight. The show concludes and we see where everyone ended up. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. The Schweinfurt-Regensburg mission.
And the success of this mission rests upon getting all 3 task forces precisely coordinated over the channel. If we don't rendezvous and sync, well, there's no pass fake.
One of the most complex and ambitious missions depicted in the show, the Schweinfurt-Regensburg mission has the 100th joining up with other bombing groups to target Germany's aircraft manufacturing plants for a major attack. At least, that was the plan. Some bad weather leaves the 100th flying alone, taking the full force of it. The ensuing battle lasts nearly half the episode and features some of the most intense action in the series.
Sorry, babyface! Tell the lead pilot! Our whole second element is gone!
Jesus.
From jaw-dropping slow-motion shots to Babyface getting left behind when his plane goes down, the whole mission leaves us breathless from its beginning until Buck finally lands in Africa. Barely. Is there a Masters of the Air scene that we missed the mark by not including? Tell us your favorites in the comments.
I don't know how you flew that thing all the way to Africa, but you couldn't make the runway. It's right there.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.